Welcome to the Soul Tribe Podcast. The Soul Tribe Podcast was created to help you navigate through the world of spirituality, wellness, and self-development in an easy, grounded, and relatable way. We break down everything from the Akashic Records, manifesting, spirituality, and so much more. We want to help expand your boundaries and bring the spiritual world to you in a fun and easy way. Get ready to be inspired with tips, tools, and easy to digest information. Let's do this.
Hey Soul Tribe, welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to talk about kind of like trying to stay focused, trying to keep balanced, and how to not let yourself be taken over by distractions. I think I'm doing a pretty good job. So we'll talk about how Lorena's doing compared to how I'm doing. But this was more like your idea for the episode, Lo. So maybe you want to kind of bring us into it.
Yeah. So just a few minutes ago, I actually posted my flower essence for the month because I always kind of energetically choose a flower that I think kind of goes with the theme that I feel for the month. And one was the distractions and finding focus. We're mid-year, it's July. We have about 6 more months till the end of the year. And it kind of gives you that energy of like, what am I doing to finish off this year strong? What are my goals? What am I working towards? Am I connecting with myself spiritually? Am I taking care of my health? Like where am I at? And kind of taking inventory on stuff. And I think finding balance within all of that of like striving for goals and trying to reach those, like milestones and being able to find balance within that is so important. But I think also it's so easy to get distracted. It's so easy to be like, oh, let me just look this way for a little bit. And all of a sudden you fall off course, right? So the idea here is to just kind of talk about maybe some ideas that we can give you guys. First of all, tell you guys like how we're doing and what's going on with us a little bit in regards to that. But also, maybe some tips, some things that you can take into consideration for finding balance and keeping yourself centered for your goals, for those things. And this could be spiritual, it could be mental, it could be physical, it could be emotional, it could be anything really. And it's important, we have 6 more months of the year. There's a lot going on in the world. And we want to make sure that we're centered and we're balanced so that we can achieve what we want. And that's part of why we're here, right? We have a purpose, we have a mission.
Yeah. How have you been doing with that, Lorena?
I actually sat down the other day and I journaled. I didn't finish the journal kind of like I wanted to do like a whole process of like how the first 6 months of the year has gone. And it's something I want to start to implement every year now. And not so much at the beginning of the year, because I feel like there's so much pressure to start the year off. Like the New Year's resolution thing. I find that silly. And I feel like that's so much pressure.
I think people are done with that after COVID.
Yeah, totally. But for me, it's like, okay, I already had some ideas. I was already working towards things and a lot of things have changed. And I wanted to kind of take inventory. So I sat down, I journaled the other night, a bunch of stuff, and I journaled a little bit more last night. And I want to keep certain things at the forefront of my work. So work towards connecting with myself more spiritually and healing more things. There's a lot of things I feel like I still need to heal inside of myself. I don't think that'll ever change or ever end. Sorry. Another thing is,
I think that goes for everybody that's incarnated.
Yeah. And I think that's also like, don't be hard on yourself, right? Even if you feel like you haven't achieved something, as long as you're taking steps every day, you're going to get somewhere. You're not in the same place you were yesterday. You're taking steps forward. Another thing is I want to really show up more on YouTube and create more digital content, like video content. And it's something that I've been thinking about for years, and I go and I start and then I fall off the wagon. So I gave myself a little bit of a goal for July to create at least 10 videos this month. I've already put one up. I have one ready for tomorrow. So it's basically just posting videos Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So I'll link my YouTube channel link below on the show notes. So come and follow if you want and watch the videos. and getting myself really out there and using my voice. I think it's more than that than creating videos, but I also keep finding myself having so much fun with the editing process, and I really get into flow, and all of a sudden an hour's pass. I'm like, wow, I love this. Like I forgot how much I loved editing videos. Even if it's silly, it's not anything crazy, right? But I still really enjoy it. And then my health is another thing. It's just taking that a little bit more seriously, stepping it up, making sure I'm doing my daily walks, getting in, my nutrients, and managing my stress the best I can. Right now, stress isn't really an issue, so I'm not really worried about that. But I want to focus more on strength training and getting that getting more serious about that, because it's something I think with age we all need to really focus on. Getting stronger and making sure that we don't lose all this muscle, because that happens. It does. So I don't want that to happen.
I've actually taken your advice, because I used to do a lot of cardio, and I've taken your advice. I remember one day I was talking to you and you said, yeah, you're doing a lot of days of cardio. You're like, do muscle. And you explained to me the whole, you lose muscle the older you get.
Yeah.
And it also helps burn fat. So I've actually been doing that, and finally my butt's shrinking.
Yeah.
Like I can actually see results. I can't believe it. I'm also eating really healthy. I'm also making sure I'm having all this like all those vitamins and minerals that you need. I'm making sure I'm getting those in. And also I'm taking like a bunch of detox supplements. I'm like concentrating on detoxing and then replenishing, right?
Yeah. And I think with fitness in particular, I don't know if I've said this on the podcast before or not, but I'm a personal trainer. I got certified as a personal trainer, and it's something that I don't really use or help people with, but it's something I really enjoy and have a passion for. And yeah, it's something I've learned through that kind of becoming a personal trainer, and a lot of the podcasts I listen to and the people I follow on social media. It is the most effective way to take care of your health and to make sure that you have not only like a good metabolism, but that you're also more focused. It helps you feel stronger. So when you feel stronger in the gym, you feel stronger in every aspect of your life.
Oh my God,
it's insane.
I feel like so different.
It changes you mentally. It's insane. So I would definitely urge anybody listening, like, I know maybe you've never considered it, or maybe you have, like, it could be a really good way of finding your balance, and also pushing you to keep feeling stronger and trying things that are harder, because that's the thing with strength training. It's never easy. It's going to be hard, especially if you're always trying to progressively get stronger, right? You're going to up your weights, you're going to lift heavier. And I mean, the idea is that it's never going to be easy, right? It's always going to be something progressive, and that's how we should live our life. I see it as a complete reflection, right? If I'm in this comfort zone, I'm never trying anything new. But if I'm always trying to do something different and achieve a new goal and try something new, then it's like life's always dynamic. You're always trying to get better at everything. And that's how I want to kind of live, right?
Mm-hmm. I think I've been super kind to myself. I've added weight, and I've let myself get used to that for like a month or something, and then I'll add something new to it after. But I've been taking it really slow. But the funny thing is, like, it reminds me of those videos of like people have like leg day. Because, for example, today I bought those, what's it called, those band thingies?
Yeah, the bands, like the booty bands,
yeah,
or
so,
just the
yeah, those. So I bought a pack of 3. There's like different strength levels. I bought that, I don't know, maybe a few weeks ago. And so I finished my workout today, and I ended with those. And then I looked at the time. I said, "Oh my goodness, I don't have time to take a shower. I need to go run to pick up Aurora." And that means popping on the bike. And my legs were like, it was like leg day on the bike, and it felt so funny.
You were burning the end burner, right? You burned your legs out.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, so it was funny. And then I just I'm thinking I look stupid, but probably nobody realizes what I'm feeling, obviously, but you're like, oh my God, my legs. I was joking around to a friend of mine today, and I was like, I had a conversation with the universe the other day, because I think that what I talked about with the universe last year didn't function. I thought I made it really clear that I wanted my bank account to get bigger and my ass to get smaller. But apparently the universe heard, make my ass bigger and make my account smaller.
No, I want a bigger ass and a bigger bank account.
No, I don't want a bigger ass.
I mean muscle, right? Of course.
Yeah, no, it's like the level, the amount of butt that I have is going down, but it's
firmer.
It's firmer. Yeah. So I'm very proud of myself.
That's how you're going to change. That's the only way to really change your body shape is strength training. So that's one tip, right? Like right there. Start strength training. It really helps you mentally, and it helps you push for, to get out of your comfort zone in every aspect of your life. It really doesn't feel like it would, but it will. And you'll understand when you start doing it. You feel stronger mentally and physically. It's really, oh my gosh, it's something that I think no one can say that, like everyone experiences that. Unless you don't push yourself hard enough and you just give up, then obviously not. But
I think consistency is the key
to everything. Like even when we talk about the Akashic Records and learning to read your own, it's the consistency. That's what gets you in the practice, right? To get from point A to point B. That's the only way.
Yeah. For me, that's been great too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few other little things I've written down that I want to work on, but I think those are 3 big aspects that I want to focus on. And with like the YouTube videos, it's creating content that helps people. So I think finding purpose within what I'm creating and giving back aligns with my purpose and what I'm doing with, reading the Akashic Records and helping people with flower essences and all that. So yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah. I think I've been doing a pretty good job. I'm actually, today you're catching me on a day where I'm very proud of myself. Maybe one day you call me and I'm like, oh, I'm so mad at myself right now. But I'm actually very proud of myself today. So I got into a year and a half ago, I got into crypto. So like I learned as much as I could about crypto, like everything, right? Every aspect of it. And I got very comfortable with it to the point where I'm like, okay. Yeah, I mean, I always think that there's more to learn, but I feel like I don't have to keep doing courses or classes. I think that I have enough to manage what my goals are with crypto, and I feel very comfortable moving wallets around and hardware wallets and software wallets and all that stuff. So that was that. I started doing that. Yeah, I started doing it a year and a half ago. I started doing that when lockdown in Holland began, and then. Maybe about 3 weeks ago, I think it is, I started studying trading, mostly because I kept talking to Sandra about it, because he started like a very professional trading course where it's like very extensive, a lot of material, a lot of studying, and then you still have like a mentor who walks you through and you can check in, and they talk about signals and what they think is going to go up and down and all that stuff, right? To buy in or to sell out. So I started getting interested, and also because I was seeing how there was moments where he was struggling, and then he would look at the charts and he would talk to me about it, and then realize, oh, I kind of know what he's talking about, because I as well studied the charts with crypto. I was like, oh. And so I'm like, oh, maybe I'm going to see if I like it, because I'm all about empowering and becoming independent from the system. And I believe that it's still kind of the system, because you're kind of leaking into a centralized place, right? Because you're working with pairs, which is like, fiat, and you're working probably with stocks with company, depending on what you're looking to work with. But I think it's a way to kind of, if you're good at it, I think you can become financially independent in some sort of a way, but you have to be very careful, of course, because a lot of people lose money as well.
Oh yeah. It's very easy to feel like you're really prepared and you know what you're doing, and then all of a sudden you're not, right?
Yeah, and you can look at you can know your stuff and look at the chart and go, I think it's going to go up,
but you don't know.
It doesn't, for example. Yeah, exactly. So it's having a good eye. It's really understanding whatever market that you're looking into and stuff like that. But anyways, so I figured out a tactic of my own where I don't leverage too much. Like I do short ones. Like I'm in, and like 5 minutes later I'm out, and I'm not stressing about it. And I didn't make too much, but for now that makes me feel safe.
Yeah, because imagine having to wait till like the next day, and you're like, you see it going up or down, and you're like, oh no, and I can't get out. That sucks.
Yeah. So I started, of course, with a demo account, which is fake money. It's not real money. And I experienced a lot of things. I realized a lot of mistakes that I made. And then through that system, I figured out a way where I felt safe enough to start with real money. So today's the first day where I was like, I put money on it, my live account, and I did five trades, but I mean, so little, Lorena, like so little. Like I gained sense. Like I did movements with sense just to make sure that like,
great.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm like, I was right. And then I stopped trading. I did a few short ones and I said, no, it's not, I don't think it's going to go up anymore. I actually am not totally sure if it's going to go down either. I was kind of iffy about it. I think it might tread in the middle or it might go down, but I wasn't 100%. So I'm like, it's time to get out. I'm done. So I closed out all my trades. I took my wins, was very little, of course, but doesn't matter. I didn't lose. That's the important part for me. And I was right. It stayed there for a little bit and then it went down and I felt like, wow, like I totally called it. Like I kind of knew. I was very proud of myself.
That's
so
great.
I'm feeling empowered.
Yeah, I gotta, like with anything, start slow. But this also makes me think about because you're talking about trading, but we also do Akashic Record readings. I have my virtual assistants business. We do our Patreon. We have so many, we're like juggling so many balls. So I think maybe it'd be good because I'm sure there's a lot of people that have to do the same, maybe in a different way because they have kids and they have a job and then they have maybe a side hustle. Like, how do you find, like, maybe we can each speak about how we find balance within that and what has worked for you. I
managed to portion my day out somehow. I'm not like you. I'm not like going to sit down. I don't do lists and go, okay, well, this week I'm going to, like, I don't know how to do that. And if I even wrote it down, I won't look at it ever again in my life. Wow. I'm the worst. Yeah. I used to like listen to you and go, okay, Lorena's like, right, I have to journal. I never looked at that journal. I ended up throwing it away. I'm like, what am I doing? It's sitting on the shelf. It's gathering dust. I've never looked at it ever again.
I've thrown away a lot of old journals. The journaling isn't to look back at it. It's the process of journaling helps me actually like get emotions and feelings and thoughts out so that I can process them. Because I tend to repress a lot of stuff.
Oh, I call that cursing. That's how I do it.
No, but even I talk about that on the video that's coming out tomorrow, Friday. So the video will have been out on my YouTube when this podcast episode comes out. But I talk about one of the ways that I use the Akashic Records is with journaling. So I'll open up my Akashic Records and I won't use at the beginning, I won't use it for answering questions. I'll just connect with my emotions, my feelings, the moment, and write stuff down. And then from there, I'll like pull in the energy of the Akashic Records to ask those hard questions like, this emotion that's come up, how can I deal with it? Or how can I find balance within the situation? And not necessarily what I have to do, but understand those emotions and feelings that are coming out. So like in the video, I explained how it was a really big part of my healing and loving myself, of the journaling in relation to the Akashic Records. But journaling could be a good way for people to find balance, like emotionally, I think. You know, maybe not for you. Yeah. Maybe it doesn't. I don't think it resonates with everybody. But apart from that, like
for some people,
like you're saying, you're not a list writer, but like, what do you said you like fraction off your day. So like a part of your day will be for Aurora, a part of your day will be for trading, a part of your day will be for readings. For example,
I can like pick up from what last night so you guys can see all the different chunks. So last night I had, so I put Aurora down to sleep and then about 30 minutes later I had an angelic healing session from, the deal that I've been running. So I had to do that session that had been booked already previously. So I did the angelic healing session and then I emailed the person with all the information that came through the session. And then I was like, oh, the Cosmic Hoax came out from Stephen Greer. I totally want to watch it because it came out like 3 days ago. And so I was like, okay, I grabbed my tea. I checked in with Sanders. Sanders was like, oh, I'm watching soccer. I'm like, okay, I'm going to watch this. So I started watching that and I watched about half of it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to sleep now because it was about 11 by then. And I went to sleep. Woke up in the morning, Aurora went to school, like gave her, of course, breakfast, all that stuff. Aurora went to school, and about an hour later, I did emails, and about an hour later, I had an interview for a podcast. So then I did that, and then when that finished, I did a few things. I don't remember what it was, but it was related to either Patreon or podcast. I don't remember now. I did a few things, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to look at the trading stuff to see how that's going. And I was looking at my demo account, and then I started activating my live account. And then I had to go pick up Aurora and then give her lunch and then take her back to school and they come back home on the bike, right?
Oh
and they come back
gosh.
home, and then I worked out because I work out after Aurora finishes her lunch and goes to school. I have my workout.
I need your discipline right now. Oh my God.
Oh, I'm very disciplined, but that's my thing. Like in the beginning when I created a routine for the first time, I'm like, ugh, really do I have to do this? But that's why I always say to people, like, I love habits because
Habits
once it becomes a habit,
Yes, exactly.
yes, it's become a habit. I've been doing it for 2 months now, probably. So now it's like normal. The morning I sit down, I do this stuff, but the mornings doesn't look the same. Today was an interview. It's not always an interview. Some mornings it's angelic healing. Some mornings it's podcast stuff. A lot of mornings was while you were sleeping, because we trade off. When you were sleeping, I was doing stuff for helping people's podcast, and then also channeling the manual. Yeah. So.
So how do you not get stressed out with all that? Because
I think for me, it doesn't stress me out because if I have to do the same thing all day long, that would stress me out.
Oh, like you like the dynamic
stuff.
For
me, I like how I'm doing different chunks of things. And so like what I'm doing in the morning, I'm not doing in the afternoon, or I kind of like that actually.
That's cool. Yeah.
I did, for example, I did trading for maybe 2 hours.
Okay.
But that was it.
Yeah.
I would look at it.
You look maybe at your day as like chunks of energy that you're putting into different things, which I think is cool. Yeah, and that's why I rely so much on my calendar to find balance and to find organization. I think for me, organization equals balance. And that's why I write my lists. That's why I kind of structure my day out a little bit every day and know kind of what I need to do. And I'll put a priority on the things that I need to do. But a lot of things, it's easy, especially when you work for yourself. It's obviously not taking into consideration if I'm doing a reading for somebody or, one of my virtual assistants clients or something like that. But if it's something for myself, it's easier for me to just let it not do it and just be like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Oh, I'll do it tomorrow again. And then all of a sudden it's 2 weeks and I still haven't done it. So that's where I have my list. I'm like, all right, I need to make these things a priority today and not get stressed out with it and know that even though it's on my list, and I just need to get done the priorities and everything else can go to tomorrow or to the next week or whatever. But
have you tried doing that chunks thing where like the morning I'll work with this client and then the other part of the morning I'll do this, and then like did you try doing that?
I like the idea of that, but I feel I have so much issues focusing. And that's why I like sometimes.
I think that's why I figured a way to success with my ADD. My ADD basically is if I don't have to do something for more than, for example, an hour and a half, 2 hours, then actually my focus is a lot better and I do it quicker. And then and it shifts between mental and physical. Because you'll see that I'll have the morning where I'm like sitting down, but then I have to go ride the bike and pick up Aurora. And then
that helps.
And
Did you know that?
Yeah.
Like people even said if you go for a walk or a run, when you sit back down at your computer, you're more likely to retain not only information, let's say you're studying or you're looking up a subject or you're doing something. Not only will you have more focus, but you'll retain the information more. So it's good to break up your day in that sense and find balance with the physical and the mental stuff that you're doing. I think that's a really good point you're making.
I mean, we had a lot of channeling we had to do for our level 2.
Yeah.
And from my side, I dedicated about 45 minutes a day.
But it was fully focused.
Yeah, it was. I would have I would have a list like you'd see the index that we had, and I would say, okay, today for me, I'm gonna get this index done, and I would sit down. Sometimes Lorena. Sometimes it was even 30 minutes, and it was like, okay, I'm gonna get this index done, whatever time it takes, and just channeling and downloading.
That's great.
And then done. And sometimes it's 25 minutes, 30 minutes.
But that goes to show the habits and the compound effect of habits, right? You got into that habit of every day. Maybe there was a day or two that you couldn't, right? But that compound effect of doing that, even for 30 minutes, at the end of a few months, the manual's done. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. And if we can all look at stuff that way and not stress ourselves out with like, okay, where's the finish line? It's like, no, let me just focus on the task at hand. Let me get present with what I'm doing. Let me strip away all of the distractions I have. My phone is an issue. Like I have my phone next to me and I'll be like, oh shoot, someone wrote me a message on Instagram. I can't forget to email them availability or send them this. So I'm always like feeling pulled in different directions. It's crazy. And I need to find a way to work that out. Maybe it is what you're saying. Maybe it is finding balance through knowing, from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., I only answer emails, and then I'll have another chunk in the afternoon to answer emails. And after that, I don't answer emails unless it's an emergency. And then, I'll find chunks to do different other things.
Yeah.
That could help, actually. And it'll keep me focused with the task at hand without feeling distracted And that's also what, sometimes I got into this habit probably like a year ago, where I was working at night. So, Joe would go to sleep, and then I would work for a straight 3 to 4 hours, and I would get more done in those 3 to 4 hours than I would all day.
Why is that?
Because I didn't have people messaging me. I didn't have anything that I needed to do that was like a priority. I just left things at night that I knew that I could just sit and concentrate, and I didn't have any sounds. No one, I didn't have to walk the dog.
I think that's why also the morning I'm able to do so much with like work-wise and podcast-wise and stuff like that, because everyone's sleeping. From the majority of people I talk to, everyone's sleeping when I'm doing that.
Yeah.
And then the only person that's awake is Julio, because Julio's in Uruguay and he has to get up at 4 a.m. to work.
Oh, I need to message him.
Yeah. So Julio and I talk in my mornings, and I'm back and forth with him a little bit on WhatsApp while I'm doing my stuff. But he's also taking calls, so we're not talking that much. We're just a little bit. But everyone else is sleeping.
Yeah.
And then Aurora's in school, and then Sandra's upstairs in the attic working. So
that's why I also like
that might be
going into a coffee shop. I got into this habit of going like once a week to a coffee shop here, and I'd bring my laptop, I'd bring my headphones, and I would sit there for 2 hours, and I would get so much done in 2 hours because I had no distractions. I wasn't eating food. I wasn't going for a snack in the kitchen. I was just sitting at my computer typing away and like had my little list, and then I'd tick everything off, and I got more done like that than working from home. Like, I don't have an office, so I think that also affects me. And it's like, and we talk about this in the Akashic Records course, right? It's like our Zoom course specifically, having a specific area or like a corner in your house where you know that you're going to sit and do the Akashic Records. I think the same thing goes with work. When you go to work, you have a desk, you have an area, you're sitting there, you're there for work. You're not there for something else. So I think a lot of times, like, I sit in the same dining table that I have dinner in, and that I
do too, but that doesn't affect.
It affects me, I think. I don't know. I just feel distracted all the time. And that's also something I actually talk about on the video that came out the other day.
Is there a Bach flower?
The Bach flower I actually talk about, and I'll link my post. It's Madia, and it helps you push away all of the distractions. It helps you focus on the task at hand, and it helps you kind of get more into a flow.
That's not a Bach flower. That's another flower.
It's a flower in society. So it's a California flower.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
So I'll link that. I think it's really, there's a few flowers to help with distractions and with focus more than that. It's more focus. But I like that one because I feel like it is exactly with all the stuff that we're talking about now. Another thing I want to mention is the Akashic Records. The Akashic Records, for me, when I open them, it instantly, it like equalizes my energy. It grounds me. It puts me more in a present moment feeling. And if I need to concentrate on something, it helps me. So if I need to focus on writing a blog post, or like we're doing right now, doing a podcast recording, I don't feel like my brain's going everywhere. I feel more present. I feel more calm. My energy feels stable. So that's a good way for you all to use the Akashic Records too. Like when do you feel that you need that? Just open your Akashic Records. You don't have to necessarily ask questions all the time. It just helps you feel more focused. Like, I think your example of when you were coding our website, that's such a good example, the best example I know, and I actually put that in my video.
And the only reason why it occurred to me was because I had heard another teacher talk about how a student of hers solved an issue with the computer. Also, I think it was coding with it. And I remember I was sitting there, I'm going, oh, and I had been sitting in the computer, I think 3 or 4 hours or something. I couldn't figure out what was crashing the website because literally 5 minutes ago, before the issue came up, 5 minutes before that, it was totally fine. So something that came up on the screen between those times, and I couldn't find it, and hours pass. I'm like, oh, I remember that suggestion of that teacher about that student. I was like, oh, I'm going to try it, actually. I found it in like 15 minutes. It was one dot.
So crazy.
That's what code is, right? Like if you have one dot,
It ruins the whole thing.
Breaks the whole code system. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was crashing their whole website page, and I was like, "What is it?"
Yeah. I think something else you said that really resonated is the habits. And I think people don't realize how important creating not only healthy, but, sustainable habits are, why they're so important. Because first of all, we're talking now about finding balance. And at the beginning of doing anything, let's talk about like exercise right now, right? At the beginning, when you started exercising, and now it's like a non-negotiable, right? You make time for it, even if Aurora's up there and like bothering you, right?
But it's also helped Aurora, because when I say, "Aurora, Mama working out,"
Does she work out with
and
you?
just like, no, she goes and just sits on the couch, and she'll ask me for the iPad, or she'll ask me for her to put cartoon on. So she's actually managed to semi-distract herself and not bother me, because she knows that if she bothers me while working out, I'll be like, "I'm busy right now."
I can't breathe.
Like with the weights, like, when you're like, "Don't bother me, shut up." Like, you can't even.
Oh my gosh. But at the beginning, right, it's like you have to think about, okay, what do I need to get in order to start? I need to get this equipment. I need to put my clothes
That's
on.
true.
And you get to a point with a habit when it actually becomes a habit and it becomes a part of your life, you don't have to think about it. It's part of your day. It's part of what gives you balance in your day. And you don't have to overthink anything because you're doing things automatically. So that's where creating healthy and sustainable, and also like, I guess healthy habits would be the word, are so important.
I think that's why I like to keep for like a month and a half my routine. So like, then I'll change it up. Okay, what new exercise can I do with my arms with these weights? And I'll look into it and I'll do new ones, and then I'll keep that one. And so even when I start getting tired, it starts burning, I know how much is left. Like everything becomes predictable, even though it's still a little hard. And that makes me not go, "Oh, do I really have to do this right now?"
Yeah, but even like some people and this happened to me now, because I have been really lazy with going to the gym. And I said, okay, I have a program, I have everything, I have it all set up. I know what I have to do. I know the exercises. It's not like it's difficult. But even just the act of going back and walking into the gym and being surrounded by people and just feeling a little self-conscious, like that already kind of screws with my head. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, if I just go for a few weeks, I won't care anymore. It won't matter.
Yeah.
It's part of like, if I don't go to the gym, I'm going to feel weird. And I've kind of fallen off the bandwagon of going for my morning walk. So this week it's been raining, and I said to myself, this week I'm going to get back on track.
No.
But because there was like that hurricane that was passing through this area. So it's been kind of crappy weather. But today I went for a walk, and it wasn't the longest walk I've done, but it was a walk, and it still did 3 kilometers.
It's freaking hard to walk in sand.
I don't walk in the sand. I go on the street, which is another thing. Like, it's not very safe, but I still do it.
That's not really nice in that area because it feels dangerous.
Yeah, but I go out early enough that it's not bad. I don't run into a lot of cars. So, and I got to that point with the walking that it was like, if I didn't do it, my day felt off. And the days I do my walk in the morning, I feel more focused. I have my routine go more smoothly in the morning. I know I'm going to take my shower. I'm going to get ready. I'm going to sit at my computer. I have my smoothie. And the smoothie something, that's another thing. Like I didn't like smoothies. And I just started, with all my diet changes and all the issues I was having with my gut, I started just saying, okay, in the morning I'm having a smoothie, and I have certain things in the smoothie. And now if I don't have my smoothie, I feel like off, like something's missing. Or
everybody in this house is having a smoothie. So after I pick up Aurora, so I did my workout, and I'm taking showers in like 5 to 7 minutes, because that's how much time I have between working out, shower, pick up Aurora.
That's okay.
Right? Yeah. And I come back, and so when I come back, that's when I make the smoothie for everybody in the house. So Sandra's upstairs in the attic, Aurora's here with me, and we all
That's great.
I'm making a smoothie for all of us, and I'm putting Ormus Warrior powder in it. It's like this really amazing green powder I love. And then I'm putting this other green powder that Sandra bought, and then I'm putting aloe gel for my plant. I'm putting some detox stuff in it as well, and that goes in, and we're all getting it.
That's great.
And that's
you've made it part of the routine
habit
now, right? Part of the habit of the morning.
And Aurora knows she has to drink the whole smoothie.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, I don't know if there's anything else you want to mention, but let's talk about what advice or what suggestions we can give people for finding more balance, finding more focus, and finding more, like being able to focus on their goals and their things moving forward for the rest of the year? Because I'm sure a lot of you are thinking about stuff, right?
What I'm thinking about in my mind is it doesn't have to be, I have to do this and have to like, I don't know. I feel like I managed to get more, at least for me, I've managed to get more done and study more things and do more things by just doing small chunks of them.
What is that called? The Pomodoro method or something? I'll see if I can link it. I follow a few people on YouTube and they talk about that. So you do something for 20 minutes. Let's say you put your timer for 20 minutes, and those 20 minutes you're only focusing on that thing. And then you have like, I don't know, like a 10-minute break or like a 30-minute break. And then you put your timer for 20 minutes, you go to your next task. Because we have a very like small retention in our brain. So you can't do something for 2 hours without like starting to like drift or like lose focus.
I'm totally like that. I can totally
that
see
sounds
that,
like what you're doing. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, to show you another example, the garden was a mess. And so I had so many weeds I have to pull out, even between all the like bricks in the backyard. I had to cut the grass. The lawnmower doesn't get to the corner grass. And it was growing all against like the wood and stuff, like the fence. And there's so much. I said, you know what? I'm going to do small chunks a day. And already the garden looks so different. And I did yesterday and today. And all I did was about 30 minutes of garden work each day.
That's great. Oh my God, you do.
So
I feel like you do so much.
Area.
I feel like I'm like
do this area over there.
Not doing anything.
I feel like I don't do anything, but I think it's because I'm not making myself do it for so long that nothing feels like such a huge obligation. I think that's it. I don't feel obligated because it's so small amount of time.
I like that. I like that tip that you gave. The small chunks of time. Just have like the things that you know you want to work towards and put a chunk of time. And that's the compound effect, right? The compound effect of anything, doing it for 10 to 15 minutes every day. In a year, you're an expert. Or you've created that habit. Or it's part of your life. It's part of your routine. It's part of who you are. It's part of your essence, right? Be it meditation, be it gardening, be it a goal that you have, be it, I don't know, you want to become a YouTuber? Well, you have to start creating videos. You need to start doing something. Why don't you start editing every day or focusing on different skills that you need for that and just start doing? For me, one thing I'm going to suggest is, I think something you said, and I think it's important to say that, is creating habits. It's what kind of person do you want to be?
My vitamins. My vitamins are.
Me too.
The morning I take this, the afternoon I take this, after lunch this, before dinner this.
Good tip with habits is associating it to something you already do. So, for example, I started to use a tongue scraper in the morning to help with like bacteria in the mouth. It's awesome. I recommend it for anybody that's.
Have you ever tried what's it called, swishing? Was it?
I'm doing that too. So I'm doing the tongue scraping. So I do that. I do tongue scraping, and then I do 10 minutes of oil pulling with organic coconut oil, and then I brush my teeth, and then I change, and then I go for my walk. And if I don't go for my walk, I just stay around here, or I take Sandy for a walk. So I've associated that with I wake up, and that's the first thing I do. So I know as soon as I go into the bathroom, the first thing that's right there in front of me is my tongue scraper, and I know that's what I'm going to do. I do that at night too before I go to sleep. But it's like, for example, I know that I'm going to take my vitamins with lunch. So I have it before lunch, because if not, I'll just leave them sitting there and I won't take the pills. So I know that I grab my glass of water, and then as I'm cooking lunch or heating up my lunch, I'm already taking my pills. And that's part of my routine too. Like, I've made it a habit. Otherwise I'll forget. Yeah. You just forget. You won't do it. That's just the way it works. And
the body loves it though. If you think about it, just think about the example of, I'm going to talk about poop again on this podcast.
I love it.
This is probably a few times already we've talked about poop, but it's like your body, the example of when you're all over the place and you do things differently, you might go to the bathroom at different times in the day. When you become very routine with what you ingest and the activities you do, and what your body knows, oh, Lucy's going to sit down at this time. Oh, and Lucy's going to work out this time. Let me go to the bathroom at this time. This is the most convenient. It's almost like your body knows, and then every day it's going to go at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
That just goes to show you in harmony how everything's working.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good point, because I think your body kind of adjusts to what you're doing. And that's why it's important to create healthy habits, right? And for the gym, for me, I'm really struggling with that. And I know Saturday and Sunday for me aren't a problem, but I want to be doing 2 sessions during the week. and I put it into my calendar and I don't go. So I move it. I keep moving it over. I'm like, oh, not today, tomorrow. And I'm like, I'll go to spin class Friday. Nah, I didn't go. It's like, oh, it's not good. So I need to really maybe do those chunks of time and know during that time, that's my time to work out.
I'm also doing things while I'm working out. I'm not just working out, which is funny. Like, you'll see me share a lot of like videos of interviews and research and conspiracy related stuff and things like that's how I catch up. So while I'm washing the dishes, sometimes I'll listen to it.
Yeah.
Or when I work out, I'm listening to one of those interviews that Dr. Tenpenny, I don't want to miss that. I want to hear what she has to say. If there's anything new in her research, I might listen to that while I work out. Or I'll listen to like a Gaia episode of one of the shows that I love, like Cosmic Disclosure or something. So I'm actually I'm putting in some pleasure with the Gaia episode, for example. I'm putting in some pleasure with the workout. So, and when like the weights get really hard, I'll just be like trying to focus on what they're saying. I'd be like, oh, that's really cool. I didn't know that the aliens thought that. Like,
I do that with my walks. It's my time to listen to my favorite podcast, and that's what I do. And I'll do that every day that I walk. And I look forward to it in that sense. You're attaching something that at the beginning doesn't feel good with something that's good. That's the association. So you make positive associations with things that right now feel like they're a burden, or you can't be bothered to do them, or they just don't feel right because you haven't been doing them. So that's a good point too. I like that what you said. Yeah, that's good.
And the other thing I do, speaking of association, is I am here in Holland. It works that electrical bill. Like you can use more electricity in your house, and you spend less money. So it's a normal thing for people to wash your clothes and dry your clothes on the weekend because you're gonna be spending less money on the electrical bill.
Oh, cool.
So I do that on Saturdays. So like all week, all the clothes accumulate, and then on Saturday morning, after I wake up, I'll have breakfast, and then I'll make my mate, my Uruguayan tea thing. That. I drink it every day while I'm working. So I'll make my mate, and then I'll go upstairs, and I'm listening. I'm like, Sander, I'm going to go do the laundry. And he already knows he has to like stay with Aurora and keep her down here with him. And I'll go to the attic with all the stuff, and I'll have to obviously look through Aurora's clothes, get the stains out and all that stuff, and like separate the clothes. But I'm doing it while I'm listening to like a podcast I really like, and I have my mate with me. So in between shoving clothes around, I'm drinking a mate, and it's become this thing where I'm like,
it's a ritual now.
I'm looking forward to washing clothes now because I get to be alone.
That's a good.
Let me clean in peace.
That's a good point. Also, make things rituals, right? Like, what is your ritual before you work out that makes you look forward to working out? Like, maybe you lay out your clothes, and then you feel good in the clothes that you're wearing, so that it makes you want to go to the gym. And reward yourself. I think that's another thing. Like, and we're not talking about like going out to like eat some McDonald's Happy Meal or something. Like, reward yourself with things that you really care about. Like, buy yourself a new crystal, or, whatever that is to you, whatever that like self-love language is for you. Buy yourself a new oracle deck.
With working out, I would use the clothes that I have. And sometimes you're like, oh, I think I need new work clothes, like workout clothes. So in the beginning, I'm like, nope. When I become like very frequent or consistent with it, and I start feeling good and seeing the changes, I'm going to reward myself with a new workout. So that helps me like bump up my workout even more after. So I'm like, oh, these pants fit me nice. It makes me look a little bit skinnier, and like the top. And then I'm like looking forward to working out after I got to that goal.
Totally.
Got the new like setup to wear.
And setting up little goals, like don't like make this huge, massive goal. Like for me, I want to work on becoming more comfortable in front of a camera. So I'm going to start on YouTube because I think that's the best platform, and I love editing videos. It's scary. I have to get out of my comfort zone, but my mission is to become comfortable in front of a camera and being able to speak about anything that I'm passionate about. So I'm going to break that down into little chunks of videos. Like, what is the first video? Work on that. Then I'll work on my next video. So it's like little goals to reach this huge goal of being like, wow, I'm comfortable now. It's good. And I can do this whenever I feel like it. So I'm not going to hold myself back because it's like a fear or an insecurity I have, right? The same thing goes for the gym. Like, just go for 10 minutes. Become comfortable with the stations and the different machines in the gym. talk to people, maybe get one session with a trainer that can show you how to use all the equipment so that you don't feel weird when you go in. Have a plan. Like, that's the first thing with the gym. Like, have a plan before you go in. That's going to be the same with like any goal you have. You have to have a plan. So set up a plan, set up an idea, an outline, a brainstorming session where you can think about how you can get to your goal. I think this is such a good time of the year to think about all these things. I don't want to waste time. Like, I know I have 6 months till the end of the year. I want to reach my goals. I want to get better at a lot of things. Like, another thing for me is astrology. I want to start going over all of those concepts that I kind of know, but I haven't really cemented inside of me to understand them and to be able to speak about them, because that's something I want to be able to speak about on here. I want to be able to read natal charts in about 1.5 years, and I really need to buckle down and study. So maybe I work that into chunks, like you were saying, right? And I don't have to study for 5 hours a day. It's, let me study for half an hour every day, and that works. You know, half an hour a day, 5 days a week. That's a lot of time in a year.
Yeah.
Plus all the time you go to class or the time that you're just reading online about things. It's just organizing your time and your priorities, right? Are there any other suggestions you have for people for finding that balance and creating that momentum?
I have to say, sleeping enough is going to help you do all those things.
Yeah, rest. Yeah.
Like, I'm making sure that I'm getting 8 hours in.
Totally. Yeah.
Every day. Yeah.
Yeah, I have moments
it's not
where
you're cranky, you don't feel like doing anything, you're in a bad mood, nothing is good enough, you're hungry for junk food. Like, not sleeping enough is going to make you not follow any of those things.
I completely agree. I find myself falling into this trap now of emotionally eating a lot. And I have to break free of that because it's that dopamine, right, that hits when you have like a piece of chocolate or you have a piece of cake or you have like that macaroni and cheese. And I'm just like, no, that's actually not giving me anything that I actually need, first of all, nutrient wise, but it's just trying to fill a void inside of me that it's not really filling anything. It's just giving me a dopamine hit. That's it.
I've done a really good job of following the rule Monday to Friday. I eat healthy, no chocolate, like none of those things. And it doesn't feel right if I do it. Like, I'm so used to it now. And yeah, Saturday and Sunday come, I'll probably have some chocolate. Like the other day I was like, Sandra's like, I want a supermarket. It was Sunday. What do you want? I'm like, I would go for some after 8 actually.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Because I love chocolate and mint. So he brought me after 8 and I was like, and it's so much better. You're like,
you enjoy it way more. Yeah. No, it's true. It's true.
But then Monday hits and I don't feel like it because I'm used to it's not a thing on Monday.
No, and you're starting your routine. So if you start to fall off all of you have your smoothie in the morning, why would you have chocolate or like cake in the morning? You know what I mean? You already have those habits and those routines in place that make you feel balanced, that make you feel good. Why are you going to stray off of that? It just makes no sense unless you're traveling or
also,
doing something weird.
If you break it on Monday, you're going to break it on Tuesday and Wednesday too.
Oh yeah.
Because now
that's also a good point to make, but right, is just because I fell off the wagon, or I don't know if you call it fall off the horse or whatever you call it, you just got to get back up. Like, don't think about failure. Think about it's just like, oh, I just fell. Let me get back up and just get back right into it. Like, we're all going to fall off and we're all going to make a quote unquote mistake. That's going to happen in any aspect of our life, even spiritual. Like, we always tell people with the 15-15-15, which is the practice after you finish the Akashic Records course, it's, you have to do the 15-15-15 as consistent as possible. But if you miss a day, it's okay. Like, it's not the end of the world. You just got to get back up and start doing it again right away. That's how I'm trying to look at the walking in the morning. When I miss a day or two, I'm like, it's better to walk 2 days a week than to walk no days a week. That's the reality. You can't look at it as all like black and white. There are grays, there are shades in the middle, and it's not all or nothing. It shouldn't be all or nothing. That's how I think, at least.
Yeah.
And other than that, I don't know if I'd add anything else. I think really it's use your spiritual tools also to find balance, your meditation, your breath work, finding time for yourself.
I have one more thing that I just thought of. I think that what really helps me is I pat myself on the back a lot.
Yeah, that's good.
Like, even like when you wake up, because like people know that we're in different time zones. So Lorena's working when I'm about to go to sleep. Like sometimes I'll be sleeping and Lorena's like, blah, 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 blah. I'll be like, yeah, tomorrow I'll look at it. Okay, tomorrow, yeah, okay, bye, good night.
It's true.
But when you wake up, you're bombarded with all my messages.
Yeah.
So I've realized that, let's say, for example, that we had a goal that we wanted to get a portion of the level 2 downloaded, and I'll be like, I'll wake up in the morning and then I'll set myself up, and then I channeled a lot. I'll be like, Lorena, my goodness, I channeled so much. I did such a great job. And maybe I only did 25 minutes, but I did a lot in those 25 minutes for the manual, but I'll totally feel proud of myself and pat myself on the back for it.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. That's a good point. I think sometimes we just like brush off, like you did that walk, pat yourself on the back, feel proud of yourself. And that's also, like we're saying, reward yourself. Give yourself those little rewards with different milestones on that journey. And I'm sure a lot of you have specific goals you're trying to work towards. Maybe you've been working towards them for a while. Maybe they're new. Doesn't matter. Put a game plan together. If you don't have a plan, you're going to fail. You need to have a plan. I think that would be like one of my top tips there too, of anything. It doesn't matter if it's spiritual or not. Set yourself up for success and know that you're going to fall off, but you can get back up, get back onto it. And something's better than nothing. Always, always, always. I think that's something I've had to really struggle with. I was an all or nothing. It's the moment I ate that cookie, I was like, oh, well, I might as well just eat whatever I want today. It's like, no, why do I have to think that way? And I think a lot of us think that way, and it doesn't have to be that way.
I've done that before too. Yeah.
Yeah. And know also that a lot of your emotional stuff could be,
or I ate that cookie, I'm not going to work out today, forget it, it's already out the window.
Yeah. You know what they say, that when you work out, you're more likely to eat healthy because of all the effort you've put in.
It's because like you're craving differently, or but
also because of all the effort you've put in. So realize that a lot of the habits you have will also affect all of the other habits you have, right? It's if I'm waking up and going for a walk and doing my dry brushing before I shower, and I'm taking care of myself and I'm putting sunscreen on, I'm more likely to make healthy decisions for myself the rest of the day than if I just woke up and just like sat at my computer and started working and didn't like have time for myself and self-care. It's the way it is. So yeah, I guess this is just kind of like a little pep talk too, to help you guys kind of focus on your goals and make sure you're pushing towards your own goals, your own life, and creating that life that you want. And a lot of that's getting out of your comfort zone, creating new habits, but also listening to yourself and making time for yourself and finding balance. That's a huge one right now for everybody, and being able to focus on what's important to you and the life that you want to create for yourself. And like Lucia was saying, a lot of her energy is towards getting out of the system and being able to create something for herself. And, like with the crypto and all that, like find out what moves you and motivates you and you have a passion for, and you're more likely to work towards that. But yeah, let's keep going, guys. Like we have 6 months. There's still a lot left of the year. It's not all done. It's not all gone. And this is our time to keep pushing forward and just, keep patting ourselves on the back for what we've done and just keep moving forward and doing more. So we'll have an update very soon on level 2. So I think that'll be on the next episode.
Now, before I pat myself on the back
Lucy's going to pat herself on the back a lot. So we're going to have dates, information, all of that. And yeah, we'll put all the links to everything we've talked about on the show notes. Make sure you check those out. And we'll see you guys next week with a new episode of the Soul Tribe Podcast. Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys. Thank you.